Every new self-help fix begins with the same lie. The lie that you are fundamentally not enough as you are. We are the first generation in human history to treat our souls like software. We look for bugs, we run updates, we patch our vulnerabilities, we optimize our morning routines until the morning itself is gone. We track our sleep, our steps, our calories, and our meditation minutes. We have turned the simple act of living into a performance review that never ends. Self-improvement has become the most socially acceptable addiction of our generation. We don't call it addiction, of course. We call it growth. We call it discipline. We call it becoming the 1%. But strip away the shiny packaging, and you find the same architecture that defines every other dependency. The promise of transformation, the temporary relief, and the escalating need for a higher dose. One more book, one more course, one more framework that will finally make you whole. But let me ask you a question that might haunt you tonight. What if the better version of you, that glowing, productive, stoic God you are chasing, is actually the thing that is killing you? I'm going to share something today that most gurus will never tell you. In fact, they can't tell you, because their mortgage depends on you staying broken. They need you to believe that the cure for your anxiety is just one more habit away. But here is the open loop I want to close by the end of this essay. There is a specific moment when personal growth stops being medicine and becomes a slow-motion suicide. I'm going to show you exactly where that line is. But first, we have to talk about the needle you didn't know you were using. To understand the addiction, we have to look at the addict. But he doesn't look like an addict. He looks like a success. Let's call him the architect. Imagine a man. He wakes up at 4:30 a.m., not because he wants to, but because a podcast told him that sleeping in is a moral failing. The house is dark. The world is silent. Before his feet even hit the floor, his mind is already scanning for errors. Did I get enough REM sleep? Is my heart rate variability optimal? Am I winning the morning? He walks to the kitchen. He drinks a sludge of green powder that tastes like dirt because it's optimal fuel. He sits down to journal. But he isn't writing about his dreams or his fears. He is writing a gratitude list like it's a hostage letter. I am grateful for the grind. I am grateful for the struggle. He is trying to convince himself that he is happy because his productivity app says he should be. Then comes the cold plunge. He submerges himself in freezing water until his skin turns blue and his breath is jagged. He tells himself this is about resilience. He tells himself this is about dopamine regulation. But deep down, in the quiet part of his brain, he tries to drown out with 2x speed audiobooks. He knows the truth. He is punishing himself. He is trying to freeze the feeling of not enoughness out of his body. On the outside, this man is a god. His co-workers envy his discipline. His Instagram followers worship his routine. But on the inside, he is a hollow shell. He isn't doing these things because he loves life. He is doing them because he is terrified of himself. He is terrified of the silence that would come if he stopped optimizing long enough to just be. I can describe this man in such detail because I was him. I'm actually ashamed to admit this, but there was a year where I spent over $8,000 on courses, seminars, and biohacking gadgets. I remember sitting on my floor at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, surrounded by a fortress of books. Atomic Habits, The 4-Hour Work Week, Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I had read them all. I'd highlighted them until the pages were yellow. I had optimized my sleep, my diet, and my social circle. I had cut out video games, movies, and low-value friends. And yet, sitting there on that floor, looking at my perfectly organized life, I had never felt more alone. I had never felt more fragile. I realized that night that I wasn't building a life. I was building a cage. And the worst part? I was proud of the bars, because they were made of gold. The addiction goes deeper than just productivity. We have started to optimize our very emotions. Have you noticed how we aren't allowed to just be sad anymore? Now we have low neurotransmitter levels. We don't grieve a breakup, we process the data to avoid future trauma. We have pathologized the human experience. When you treat your emotions as bugs to be fixed, you lose the ability to feel them. You become a manager of your heart instead of a participant in it. We spend so much time working on ourselves that we have no self left to work with. It's like a sculptor who keeps carving until there's no stone left, just a pile of dust on the floor and a hollow pedestal. This is the hollow man syndrome. You know how to hack a conversation, but you've forgotten how to connect. You know how to track your heart rate, but you've forgotten what makes it skip a beat. You are a perfectly tuned instrument that no one is playing. So, here is the hard truth we need to face. If self-improvement was a medicine, and you had to take higher and higher doses of it every year just to feel okay, wouldn't you conclude that the medicine isn't working? Wouldn't you conclude that maybe, just maybe, the medicine is making you sick? We need to dismantle this machine. Let's apply the SHIT focus to diagnose why our brains keep falling for this. The neuroscience. The goal gradient effect. Why does buying a book feel better than reading it? Why does planning a workout feel more satisfying than the workout itself? This is the goal gradient effect. Psychologically, the closer you feel to a goal, the more motivated you become. But the brain is easily fooled. Consuming self-help content feels like progress to your dopamine receptors. When you watch a video on how to be a millionaire, your brain releases the reward chemical as if you've actually earned the money. You get the high of the transformation without the friction of the work. Imagine you watch a video on waking up at 5 a.m. You feel motivated. You set your alarm with conviction. You go to bed feeling like a new person. But when the alarm goes off, you hit snooze. Now you feel worse than before. Because you didn't just fail to wake up, you failed to become the person you imagined yourself being. This creates a shame gap, and the only way to fill that gap is to go buy another book or watch another video. The industry doesn't want you to succeed. It wants you to feel almost successful. The hot take: self-loathing in a suit. Most self-help is just a socially acceptable form of self-loathing. The core premise of the $13 billion industry is, you are broken, and I have the fix. If you actually liked yourself, if you genuinely believed you were worthy of love just as you are, you wouldn't be trying to kill your current identity every 6 months. You wouldn't treat your personality like a fixer-upper house that needs to be gutted. I want you to be honest with me for a second. Have you ever felt this specific silence? That moment when you finish a great book or a motivational video, and for 10 minutes you feel like a giant. You map out your whole future. You feel invincible. But then, by dinner time, the same old anxiety crawls back in. The high wears off, and you feel even smaller than before. Tell me in the comments, what was the one fix, the book, the routine, the habit, that you thought would change everything, but didn't? The solve: changing the fuel. The path out isn't stopping growth, it is changing the fuel of growth. There are 2 types of growth fuel. Type A is deficiency fuel. This burns dirty. It says, I need to do this because I am not enough. If I don't do this, I am a failure. This fuel provides explosive energy, but it leaves residue. It causes burnout, resentment, and shame. It's like putting jet fuel in a lawnmower. You'll go fast, but you'll explode. Type B is curiosity fuel. This burns clean. It says, I want to do this because I am interested in what I am capable of. I want to see what happens if I try this. It is playful. It is expansive. If you miss a day at the gym on curiosity fuel, you think, my body needed rest. If you miss a day on deficiency fuel, you think, I am a lazy piece of garbage. The expansion, the unbecoming protocol. So how do we switch fuels? We practice unbecoming. Most self-help is about addition, adding more habits, more skills, more knowledge. Unbecoming is about subtraction. It's about looking at your 4:30 a.m. alarm and asking, who told me I have to do this? It's about looking at your high-value social circle and asking, do I actually like these people? Or am I just trying to network my way out of loneliness? The solve is to stop working on yourself and start knowing yourself. One is a management task, the other is a relationship. Try this. For the next 7 days, do nothing that has an ROI. Read a book that won't make you money. Go for a walk without a podcast. Sit in a chair without a journal. Face the withdrawal. Face the voice that calls you useless. Because that voice is the dealer, and you are finally stopping the supply. I want to talk to my younger self for a moment. The one shivering in that cold plunge, watching the clock tick, wondering why he still felt like a failure, despite doing everything right. You can stop running now. You don't have to earn your right to exist today. The optimal version of you isn't waiting at the end of a checklist. He's a ghost, and you can't outrun a ghost. The loop we opened at the start, the moment growth becomes suicide, is the moment you stop living your life in order to fix your life. When the tool becomes the task, you've lost. When the map becomes more important than the territory, you are lost. Your soul is not software. There are no bugs. There are only features. Your anxiety? That's a feature. It's trying to protect you. Your laziness? That's a feature. It's asking for rest. Stop trying to patch yourself. Start trying to know yourself. The fire in the hearth doesn't need to be optimized. It doesn't need to burn with perfect efficiency. It just needs to be fed. So put the books down for a day. Look at the trees. Feel the mess. Embrace the friction of being a messy, unoptimized, beautiful human being. That is where the actual growth is. Until next time, keep the hearth burning.